भरून सिलेक्ट विकायचे ना, तर इकडची महाग आहे ती 100ची घेण्यापेक्षा त्यांची 25-30 मिनिटं आपल्याला बेनिफिट भेटणार, एवढाच काय फरक आहे. तो फरक पडतो त्यासाठी
Hello.
Yes, Rudra ma'am, you can start the session.
Yes, yes. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Uh, First of all, very sorry about the delay. We'll start with the session now. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. You
Yes,
are.
ma'am. Yes, you are. Yes.
Good evening. First of all, I would like to thank each and every participant for joining the 5-day National Level Faculty Development Program on empowering libraries in digital age, tools, techniques, and transformations, organized by Library Committee and IQAC of Ganga Education Trust, Degree College of Arts, Commerce and Science. I would like to heartily welcome all of you for today's first session. We are very fortunate to have Dr. Rajendra Kumbhar sir, will be our today's resource person. I welcome you, sir, for first day of our FDP. Sir is going to talk on empowering librarians for reader development, a digital approach. I would also like to welcome Degree College Principal Dr. Bhavika Karkera ma'am. She has been an incredible support system and her encouragement guides us to organize such informative FDPs and seminars. I also welcome IQSC Coordinator, Assistant Professor Tina Kodian Madam, Library Committee members, Assistant Professor Shubha Shah, Assistant Professor Padma Patil, and Assistant Professor Avantika Deshpande. Coming back to today's session, I will just give a short introduction of our today's guest speaker, Dr. Rajesh Kumbar sir. Sir has served as a senior professor at the Department of Library and Information Science, Savitribai Phule, Pune University. He was also the librarian of Pune University Library. There are 80 articles to his credit published in various national and international journals. He has also authored more than 20 books. Sir has also given 200 plus lectures on various subjects in library science field. He has been continuously conducting workshops on various topics for teachers and students in library and information science field. Some of the topics are research methods, inculcating reading habits among students, writing research articles. Sir, we are very much honored to have you today on the first day of our FDP. Welcome, sir. Hello.
Thank you, madam.
Sir, we can start with the session now. Before starting the session, I would just like everyone to switch on their videos. We just want to click few pictures for documentation and also for the memory. Shravani ma'am. Hello.
Hello, Rudra ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the sharing done by you or the resource person? Sir,
Yeah, ma'am. It is done by me.
so just stop the share.
Yes, yes.
Stop the share and let stop sharing.
Yes, ma'am.
Let everybody. Yeah.
Hello, Shravani.
Requesting everyone to on their cameras.
Thank you so much, everyone. Sir, we can start with the session now.
Sure.
Yes.
Hello, participants. I hope I am audible to you. And
Yes. Yes, sir.
welcome to you all for this faculty development programs, particularly for empowering librarians. At the outset, I appreciate the efforts of Ganga Degree College and the librarian Burkule Madam and the principal and other authorities, faculties of the college, which have taken this initiative to conduct a FDP for librarians. Friends, I'm basically going to speak with you on empowering librarians. That is the theme of the FDP itself. But I will be focusing how to empower you for reader development. Point is that when we look into the today's library environment, reading environment, we feel an urgent need to empower ourselves. One of the basic purpose of empowering ourselves is that time has changed, it always changes, and with that, we have to upskill ourselves. Many times, actually, we have to de-learn what we have learned earlier, and we have to learn new skills so that we stay in the competition, so that we are able to sustain our profession of librarianship. And there is the value of empowering. The idea of empowerment is that you yourself acquire knowledge and skills to provide better services, new services, innovative services to the readers. And that is the reason I feel that the theme selected by the librarian for the FDP is very, very relevant in the today's time. It becomes more relevant because we as librarians are facing some new challenges in the modern technological era. Though technology has brought solutions for many of our day-to-day problems, that is good. And that is why we must use the technology in libraries also. But we have to also keep in mind technology is not the only solution. There are many services and aspects of library services where human touch is also equally important. But all this need of empowerment, the need of upskilling is being arrived. That is because of the challenges. What are the challenges? Look at the very first challenge. The decreasing footfalls. The number of users visiting the library is decreasing across the various types of libraries, whether it is the special libraries, whether it is the academic libraries, school, college, universities, or even the public libraries. Everywhere. And look at the authorities on the other side, they always want that more and more people should come to the library. They want now a proof of that. Yes, that user tracking system has become a compulsion for all the libraries. Because ultimately we want to know how many people visited the library. And since the arrival of the technology, this is very been found through the research itself that after the arrival of the technology, the footfalls in the libraries has decreased. The users visiting physical library has decreased. Now I know that many of you must be thinking, okay, they are not visiting physically to the library, but then they are using our resources online. So doesn't matter even if they don't visit the library. Well, that is true. But we have to also look into the side effect of that also, which I will be referring to gradually in the course of lecture. What has happened after the arrival of the technology? First of all, the internet, the digital media, the digital resources, and even the websites, including, of course, the internet, they have emerged as a competitor to libraries. See, being supplementary is a different thing. But being a competitor is a different thing. Competitor means what is going to happen? Either you survive or I survive. So, and this is not imaginary. You know that users are going to the internet, to the websites for finding any piece of information. Many researches have been conducted throughout the world. What is your first step for searching information or first resource for information? And people have said first, and many times they have said the last, that is internet. They are not saying that library is my first priority, where I will go for finding information or documents. Plus, what has happened? We have to look at the readers from the point of view of as a readers. Student and reader, there is a difference. There are many students in your college, in your academic institution, but there are very few readers. Look at the many and few. If there are, say, for example, 500 students enrolled in your institution for the academic program, out of that, visiting 50 or 100 itself is a difficult thing. Apart from that, what is happening? People say that they are reading. If you ask the youngsters, oh, we are reading. But their reading is not a deep reading. Almost all digital reading is very shallow reading.
हॅलो. हाय. हॅलो.
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 सर आवाज येत नाही तुमचा.
हा.
हो.
कुंभार सर.
I think he's got disconnected, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, we just wait for him to come back.
Yes, yes.
सरांना फोन केलाय मॅडम.
I will try contacting him.
ओके.
तो मैम just call करके देखो.
Hello. Yes, sir is joining that.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
Hello,
coming.
sir.
Yeah, there was some disturbance.
Yes, yes.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, there was some disturbance. So I was talking about the nature of reading, today's reading. Today's reading is basically a shallow reading. And you know, the research says that we on one screen, whether it is the laptop or your mobile screen, we are there for 10 seconds. In 10 seconds, how much content you can grasp, how much comprehension, how much understanding can be there. Always you as a librarian try to bring the picture of a user in front of your vision, the student. He won't be able to understand any topic by just reading for 10 seconds. Deep reading is essential. There is the role of a librarian as a reader development. I will be coming back to that. What is also the feature of today's readers reading? That almost all of us, yes, you and me also, and of course the students, our own children's. Here also research says that we are living in a constant state of distraction. Yes, हमेशा ही हम distraction पे हैं. Always our concentration is being attracted by something else. You start reading and then you find a hyperlink in between, if it is the digital reading, and then you click to that, and then another hyperlink and another hyperlink. Look at that. Or when it comes to the students, they are reading something, they are listening something, they are typing something. Maybe on the mobile itself, you must have seen those two fingers, they do it. Look at that. Multitasking, it is called. Where is the concentration? Remember, friends, when we mean reading, is actually putting our eyes across the black and white content, reading the word, pronouncing them, understanding the meaning of the word and the sentence, and then understanding the whole passage and the message of the book, the knowledge of the book. Once it is received by the brain, the circle of reading is completed. If you are swiping and swiping every minute, and that too while multitasking, that is not reading. So reader has to be developed very deliberately. That is the idea of reader development. Shallow reading, I just mentioned about it. Lack of awareness about value of reading. That is also a challenge for the today's librarians. Reading, जिसको पढ़ना बोलते हैं, पढ़ाई अलग है. Study is different. Reading is different. Reading is reading all types of reading material. Of course, your curricular books, textbooks, reference books, journals, thesis, patent standards you read. Along with that, you have to read the other type of content also, and that is so useful for your personality development, your overall growth. But by and large, people, particularly coming to the student generation, of course, it is applicable to 90% of the citizens of the nation, that they do not know all the benefits of reading. Yes, eventually, some of them may be knowing some advantages of reading, little importance of reading. But the total importance of reading, they are not aware. That also we have to take a note of it. That is challenge. If everybody understands the need of reading, the benefits of reading, the importance of reading, then they will start reading. And libraries will get crowded. They will be full of readers in the library because each one has understood the value of reading, importance of reading. At present, there is a lack. At present, there is a reading illiteracy, you can say. They do not know the value. That is also a challenge for today's librarians. Also, there is very little awareness about the benefits of libraries. That is the reason they are not coming to the library. They go to the malls, they go to the temples, they go for a picnic. They may even attend classes. But libraries, they are not coming. Why? Because the awareness about using a library is not with them. For example, libraries are very, very beneficial for resources. See, you have to pay very little amount for reading those hundreds and thousands of books in your 3 to 5 years academic time span. Yes, that library membership. That is a very, very meager amount, little amount actually. And the library's value as a space. पढ़ने के लिए जगह कहाँ है आजकल? सिटीज में तो बिल्कुल नहीं है. अगर रूरल एरिया में है तो भी that reading environment is not there. When it comes to library as a space, look at the reading environment: calm, quiet, table, chair, and a mahol. Why? Because on the left side, on the right side, front, back, there are readers. See, you always try to copy something. When others are reading, it is a motivation for you. That opportunity, that benefit is brought to you by the libraries. But are they aware of this? No, they are not aware. If they really understand the value of libraries as space, they will start using it, but they are not doing it because they are not aware of it. And most importantly, what libraries offer to them is a reading advice. Because you are one such expert of books, information sources, who can say that, okay, you read this and this will serve your purpose. आप ये 5 किताबें पढ़िए, आपकी डिग्री हो जाएगी. आप ये 20 किताबें स्टेप बाय स्टेप पढ़िए, maybe you will be able to crack UPSC and MPSC examinations. Quite possible. Who can tell this? That is the advice. Now, overall, whether it is the resources, it is the space, or the advice, each of this is very, very useful to the user, but they lack the awareness. They are not aware of it. अरे ये इतना खजीना है हमारे पास, एक एडवाइस के संदर्भ में है या physical resources, but they are not aware. That is also a challenge. That lack of awareness is a challenge. And illiteracy about the variety of features of information sources. Yes, friends. What a great variety of information sources library possesses. They have textbooks, they have reference books, they have journals, they have databases, they have thesis, either offline or online, they have research report, they have all types of literary works, poems, novels, dramas, autobiographies, biographies, travel accounts. Even within novel, there is a great variety, like suspense stories, historical novels, science fiction, romance. Look at the variety. Is this known to the readers? All this variety. When it comes to a college library, 90% of them, they think that library possesses textbooks. That's all. Very few of them, they know, okay, library also has reference books. Very few come to know there are journals which bring them the latest research in every walk of life. Look at that. So by and large, our libraries are known to the people, reading community, student community as textbook library. But that is not the case. Look at the treasure of varieties we have in the libraries. The success literature, or what is called self-help books, which is really, really makes your personality fast. But they don't know that these types of books are available. Not just that. Even if they know that particular type of book is there, even if they know the type, like textbooks, do they know actually what is the feature of a textbook? How it is different from a reference book? How it is more useful for a particular purpose? How a reference book is actually different by nature, and that is why it is more useful than the textbooks, and like that. Novels, by virtue of their content, they are very useful type of document. So neither they know the variety, nor they are aware of the features of the information sources. I think there is the scope for empowering yourself. And once you empower yourself, you will be able to empower the students to become readers. Now, the solution to all these challenges, the solution to all these problems, what I explained through those 7 points, though they are of course limited one, I cannot list everything there, need not to be also. because you are wise people, you are well-read people, you know that. There are many more challenges and problems. What is the solution for those? To me, the best solution is that convert your students, transform your students from student to reader. I think once you convert them, you transform them. Transform का मतलब है एक बदलाव लाना, चेंज लाना. तो चेंज क्या करना है? वो अभी स्टूडेंट है, उनको रीडर बनाना है. Once you do that, automatically all these problems will get resolved. So, if we believe that the reader development is a solution to the problems, then what are the ways that you can empower yourself so that you achieve the target of reader development? How you can empower yourself? Because the theme of my speech is empowering librarians. आपको सक्षम बनाना है, आपको स्किलफुल बनना है. तो स्किलफुल बनना है तो कैसे बने? सक्षम बनना है तो कैसे बने? एबल टू डिलीवर बनना है तो कैसे बने? Here are some of the ways to empower yourself. Along with that, I will be also talking about what benefits you receive once you empower yourself. Here is the very first method to empower yourself, and that is acquire skills for marketing of reading. Yes, friends, very deliberately I am using this term, marketing of reading. Point is that you as a librarians know that कि भाई reading important है. शायद आप भी बता सकते हैं कुछ benefits. ये कुछ मैं very deliberately कह रहा हूं. मतलब ये है कि जितने benefits आपको आज मालूम है उससे ज्यादा है actually, and you have to know it yourself. And for that purpose, you have to acquire the skill of marketing of reading. Reading का marketing करना है. For that, you have to become skillful. What you have to become? A motivational speaker on reading. You all know actually the value of motivational speaker. Shivraj Gorle साहब है, Shiv Khera है, or there are actually at the national, international level, there are many people who motivate you for doing the impossible things through their speech. You have to also become a motivational speaker. But your theme is what? Reading. जाइए क्लास में. For that purpose, you first acquire the skill. What skill you have to know? What knowledge you have to have? First of all, you yourself must know all the benefits of reading. List करिए. After this thing, I'm not going to talk about all the benefits. आप कोशिश करिए कितने benefits आप list कर सकते हैं. Sort of self assignment. इसका कोई assignment का आपका evaluation नहीं करने वाला. And you will realize that. Then you go to the books. I have myself written one of the books, Vachanatun Vyaktimatva Vikas. And there are hundreds of books actually on importance of reading. Read those. You will come to know, okay, I was knowing maybe 5, but there are 24. I was knowing 10, but there are 24. Look at that. Look at the gap. So first thing, know yourself. How reading benefits. Reading brings to you multiple skills, multiple capacities. First, you know that. And then what you do? Yes. Once you empower yourself, देखिए भाई, आप जब importance of reading try to explain in the classroom. कितने टाइम क्लासरूम में जाना है? Ideally every week 1 class. If there are actually limited number of classrooms, Say for example, 10 classes hai, 10 subject hai. In that case, you repeat that, going to the same classroom after a month. Because every time, quite possible, few new students will be there. You have to ensure each single reader, you student of your institution is now completely aware about the benefits of reading. He has understood the advantages of reading. देखिए, once they will realize that, oh, reading is really going to transform me. A complete बदलाव लाने वाला है reading. Once they will come to know, they will read regularly. See, once this person comes to know, the youngsters particularly comes to know the value of going to the gym, then he gets up early in the morning and goes very regularly to the gym. But till he understands the benefits, he will not go. Once he understands, he will make that as a routine practice. For that purpose, all of you, according to me, should be professors of reading. वो point है कभी आगे आएगा. Well, what do you do? For making yourself empowered for delivering lectures on reading, you must actually deliver these so many lectures. I just talked about it, maybe dozens, 2 dozens, 3 dozens per year. You also tell them how to inculcate reading habit. Habit बनाना बहुत difficult होता है. I say, it is also said that to break a habit is also very difficult. Making habit is difficult. So is breaking. So how to inculcate that? आप बताइए. Maybe you can tell them, okay, you read only 1 page per day, first month. Or you read for 10 minutes and stop it. बात यह है कि habit कैसे लगाना है ये भी तो आपको बताना है. Then only people will try for it. Unless somebody tells that, okay, how do I form up a habit for reading? It's a new habit for me. So you tell them the trick and tactics. You also explain them aspects of digital addiction. That excessive use of social media has adverse effects. Or what is called that obsession of reading. You have become addicted, digital media. Who is going to ultimately explain the disadvantages of excessive use of digital media? It is you. In a way, you will be able to communicate them, convince them you have to use the digital media in emergency case, but by and large, you try to avoid for reading purpose. For reading, you go to the printed reading material. These adverse effects of digital media, social media, has to be very, very carefully, very convincingly must be put to the reading community, the potential readers. That will be a great achievement of your skills of marketing of reading. Talk about value of organic reading. That is what I was talking about. Organic reading, I always say that reading a printed book is organic reading. People are aware of actually organic food, organic vegetables. That means no side effects, no use of artificial, no use of chemicals while growing those, cultivating those fruits and vegetables. Printed books reading is organic reading experience. I say that because see, you need not to use the artificial light also. No effect on your eyesight, the screen effect as it is called. No stress on your brain, so no distraction actually. You are on a particular page, there is a plain content you are going on reading. Read digital, there is hyperlink and you are actually being provoked, forced, attracted by those hyperlinks and you go, you detract yourself. So you talk about the reading on this aspect. There are other ways of empowering yourself also, and that is acquiring mastery of information sources. Yes, friends. Many time I wonder actually, do we need to change the designation of a librarian? Yes, many of us like the designation professor. That is fantastic. But professor of library, no, I don't want you to be called professor of library. Neither even professor of library science, because they teach cataloging classification. You are in direct contact with books and readers. Your role is to ensure every book finds a reader and every reader gets his or her book. Go to the Ranganathan's basic philosophy. So, you have to become professors of books. Good designation, isn't it? You may call it professor of information sources. Little better. But then, who is a professor? A person who has deep knowledge of a particular subject. He's an expert of a subject, isn't it? Now, as a librarian or as a professor of books, more correctly, that is my the designation I like very much. As a professor of books, you have to have deep knowledge of what? Of reading material, of information sources. I talked about it in the earlier part, that you must know all the varieties of reading material. Not just that. You must know the features of the reading material. Number 2. Number 3, for example, what is the specialty of a journal? It brings new content at short intervals, weeklies, monthlies, fortnightlies, quarterlies. Look at that. And in smaller pieces, article, 5 pages, 10 pages, 15 pages. That is it. And fresh content, new content. That is the feature. You must know. Apart from that, you must know actually features of all types of reading material. What is a database? Can we speak on databases itself for half an hour? Features only. Searching, another half an hour. Filtering, another half an hour. Updations, another half an hour. Look at that. Once you have all this knowledge, you will be called as professor of maybe databases and all the resources. Not just that, the fourth layer is that you must know certain titles and the specialities of those titles. Even if they are curricular books. Shukla Grewal Advanced Accountancy, how it is different from a 100 pages book on accountancy. Both are actual titles. On any single topic, you must be able to tell 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 books, or at least information sources, maybe 5 books, maybe 2 journals. Say, for example, pollution. On pollution, if that is the subject taught in your college or part of a subject, you must know that. These are the 2 best books on pollution, number 1. These 3 journals are the high impact factor journals on that. Look at your mastery. I mean mastery of information flow. These 3 websites are the best on pollution. These 3 institutions are doing much research on pollution. These 5 people have published many research articles on pollution. You know individual book titles, you know individual journal titles, you know individual website titles, institutions, and even individuals. Look at your mastery. Point is that, भाई ये कैसे करे? मेरा तो सब्जेक्ट नहीं है. 1 महीना, 2 महीने, 3 महीने उस पर काम करिए. Try to know resources, prominent resources, important resources, महत्वपूर्ण साधन है on that topic. It will take maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 months to become masters of information sources on one topic. I am talking about academic reading material. Books, journals, textbooks, reference, and so on and so forth. That will make you subject librarian. Yesterday, I was talking on another platform and I talked about it. I will also repeat that. On one single university's library, that is Oxford University, you go to their website and you will find 100 plus subject librarians are recruited. All these, each subject library's librarian, उसका नाम है, फोटो है, वेबसाइट पे आप जाके देखिए, ऑक्सफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी लाइब्रेरी. There is a librarian for chemistry, there is a librarian for mathematics, there is a librarian for geography, there is a librarian for maybe painting, so on and so forth. And what are their specialty? Their specialty is mastery of information sources on chemistry, mastery of information sources on maybe mechanical engineering. Look at that. And they are able to tell the selected titles of each variety and their features. So is the case actually going further to become professor of books. This is all about gaining mastery, empowering yourself. सक्षम बनाना है ना, तो यही तो सक्षमता है. तो क्या करना है? Look at the non-academic books, which are called literary works. ये भी आपको बताना आना चाहिए. Which are the award-winning books? Booker Prize, Nanpit Award. कितने awards making books are there every year? आपको होना चाहिए मालूम. What is the theme of that particular book? For example, Orbital, which is now got a Booker Prize. क्या है इसमें? आपको मालूम होना चाहिए. एक मराठी है, सिंपल सा टाइटल है. You must know है क्या उसमें. You need not to read the complete book. नहीं करना है आपको. But you have to read it maybe 10 minutes. You have to read the blurb. You have to read the other part I will be talking about. Point is that you must know that at least about 50, 20, 30, 40, 50 novels. So as poems, so as drama books, so as biographies and autobiography. देखिए, biography पढ़ने का मतलब ही है आपको एक अलग लाइफ पढ़ने को मिलता है, एक experience मिलता है, what that particular experienced, and you become enriched with knowledge. Right, you are now ready to face the challenges of the life. Biographies. तो आना चाहिए immediately, at least 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 biographies, autobiographies. Yes, I know. You are then the professor of books. So is the case with the success literature. शिव खेरा है, उनका जो किताब है, You Can Win. शिवराज गोरले, मजेद जगाव कसम, Atomic Habits, 5 a.m. Club, Thinking Fast and Slow. Look at that. I am okay, you are okay. How to win friends and influence people. Look at the series. आपको ये मालूम होना चाहिए. Not just title then. The next layer is that you must know the contents bit. क्या है? इससे क्या सीख मिलती है? You must be able to. That is the power, your mastery of books. What is that? कि भाई ये किताब पढ़ के आप में क्या बदलाव होने वाला है. Student is going to ask you this question. Why should I read this? They ask to the parents. They may ask you also. भाई मिस्टर लाइब्रेरियन मैडम, आप बोल रही है किताब पढ़ो, क्यों पढ़ूं मैं? And you should be in a position very confidently and pleasantly. Yes, students, I will explain you 5 things you will get out of this. And then you will say, oh, madam, I must read this book. Please issue. Look at that. All this happens because you acquired mastery of information sources and then you deserve the designation. गवर्नमेंट ये डेसिग्नेशन दे या ना दे, आपको स्टूडेंट यूजर्स ही ये डेसिग्नेशन दे देंगे, भाई ये इज एक्चुअली मास्टर ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन सोर्सेस. सो you empower yourself, friends. It will actually give you many what is called as a laurels, awards मिल जाएंगे. Here I was talking about, you become master of all types of reading material, books and their features, journals and their features, databases and their features, and all that I did talk about it. What you have to also, actually, there are other ways to empower yourself. What is that? Acquire reader's advisory skill. And by that, after having those reader recommendation skills, reading prescription skills, or reading consultancy skills. Different names are there: advisory, consultancy, recommendation, prescription, suggestion. You should be able to suggest a book. Once you acquire this skill, then you will get another designation. What is that? Professor of reading. Why you are called professor of reading? Because you are the one and the only one capable to advise reading. एडवाइस रीडिंग का मतलब है आपको एक निश्चित किताब, जर्नल, आर्टिकल, वेबसाइट, थीसिस स्टूडेंट को बताना है कि भाई ये पढ़ो, इससे आपकी जो जरूरत है वो फुलफिल हो जाएंगी. In this reading advisory, obviously, this skill you will be able to get on the basis of mastery of information sources. क्योंकि आप पहले ही आपको मालूम है सारी किताबें, अभी आपको एडवाइस करना है. So you have to know the reader also. You have to also acquire the skill how to talk with the readers, as a doctors do it. You know, there is a bibliotherapy. It's a part of readers advisory skill. Bibliotherapy आज के जमाने में, even there are many medical doctors, they are prescribing reading so as to come out of a particular medical problem, serious medical problem like cancer. The patient get very discouraged by virtue of that disease or the medical problem. And the treatment is given, but still he's worrying. It's a mental illness now. Physical illness, the doctor has treated. Patient is not coming, not recovering fast, not responding. What is the way? Then the doctors are recommending reading material. I think it is your role because you are the professor of reading. Look at the two designation, professor of books and professor of reading, club them together to call it librarian is no more a librarian issuing or giving and taking of books. Librarian is now performing an intellectual task, and for that he is to be designated as professor of books and reading. Both. He has mastery over both the aspect of it. And while recommending reading, prescribing reading, you have to ensure that you are capable to prescribe both the type of reading material. Fiction, that includes all the varieties of fictional reading material, poems, dramas, varieties of novels, I did speak about it, or genres they call it more specifically. You should be able to speak the language of the profession also. Genre. That is, the subtypes of novels are known as genre. You must know there are dozens of genres actually. All those mysteries and suspense stories and science fiction and historical novels and all those are what is called as genres. You should be. But you should be also able to recommend non-fictions, maybe biographies and autobiographies, maybe success literature, maybe even academic reading advisory service. नहीं है सबको फ्रेंड्स. साइकोलॉजी में अगर मैं प्राइमरी रीडर हूं, फर्स्ट ईयर में एडमिशन लिया है, तो कौन सी किताब से शुरुआत करूं? इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ ड्रीम से करें? वेरी डिफिकल्ट बुक टू रीड. अगर रिसर्च की बात लाइब्रेरी साइंस में हो रही, शायद आपके जनरेशन ने पढ़ा होगा, सुना तो होगा कि बुश एंड हार्टर की किताब थी, रिसर्च मेथड्स इन लाइब्रेरियनशिप. बट द लैंग्वेज वर वेरी डिफिकल्ट, ब्यूटीफुल बुक्स. Now you as a reader's advisor who has mastery over reading material, who know the feature of each book, he will say, okay, initially you don't read Bush and Harter. Initially you read this particular book, which is more simpler in its language and explanation. Look at that. Friends, today's and tomorrow's librarians will be recognized exclusively for their reading prescription skills. Times are not far away where an individual reading consultant will be able to earn good money, I tell you. You are academic librarians, you are working in colleges and universities, you may not have much contact with the school libraries and school children's reading or maybe children's reading as such. But I tell you, if you become consultant for children's literature, consultant for children's reading, parents will be happy to pay every visit 300 rupees, 100%. And what you have to do? Looking at the child and his mentality or her mentality, you have to prescribe for that particular month 3 books. And people will happily pay you 300 rupees per visit. How good. But for that purpose, you have to first acquire those readers advisory skill and you have to become masters of reading material. Once those two capacities are there, you really become a professor of reading. Friends, remember, today's word which is not reading, that number is large one. Those what is called as illiterate people, जो जिनको साक्षर है लेकिन पढ़ना नहीं चाहते. They don't will to, they don't have a desire to read. Now, if you want to actually inject that thought, that will, that wish, that desire to read, you have to have these two masteries of reading material and the ability to convince that reader the value of reading and the ability to tell that this is the right book for you. Yes, that is prescription, as doctors do, a correct prescription and you get cured. There are already book, I tell you, there is a book called Novel Cure, Novelcure. And the same authors, Elderkin and Berthoud, they have written, these two madams have written a book. These two ladies have written a book called Novel Cure, Novel, novel ka matlab fiction. The same authors have also written a book called Story Cure. Look at that, that is for the children. And they say that whether it is the elderly people or the children's, always they have some psychological problems. Their mental health is disturbed. And here is a cure. And the cure is what? Stories. The cure is what? Novels. But the point is that at present we are not really doctors of readers. Doctors of reading. आपको पता है वो एडवर्टाइजमेंट चलता है पानी का डॉक्टर. मेरा कहना है रीडिंग का डॉक्टर क्यों नहीं होना चाहिए? क्यों नहीं हमारी खुद की एडवर्टाइजमेंट हो, हमारी कैपेसिटी की एडवर्टाइजमेंट हो कि भाई ये है रीडिंग डॉक्टर. You have any problems related with reading, there is a complete reading solution. This gentleman, this madam brings to you. And for that purpose, friends, how do you empower? For what you empower? You empower yourself for advising reading, recommending reading. You also acquire skill for organizing readers club. We talked about actually readers are not coming to the library. Why? Because they don't find anything attractive. But if you have got readers club, not just one, in a college of about 100 students, there may be 10 different readers club. Reader club of is books, readers club for a particular subject, history, geography, sociology, mathematics, psychology, whatever. Reading club for a particular genre, science fiction readers club. Yes, 5 students, that becomes a club. 3 students, that becomes a club. 20 students, fantastic. 50, much better. But for that purpose, you as a librarian have to take, you as a professor of reading have to take a lead. And what is that lead? Yes, you organize those clubs. Make a call. Find out who has a similar interest. Call them together. Give them a small speech. Make them available the relevant books, science fiction. These are the 20 science fictions in our library, friends. You read per month 1 book. Come together for 1 hour per day, half an hour per day. Sit here in a circle. Read. Maybe read in a circle. Read aloud. पढ़ के दिखाओ. Everybody reads a page. So everybody gets involved. And they talk about it. the values of that particular thought explained in the book, expressed in the book. And thanks to the technology now, even if they are unable to visit your library because of the distance, the crowd, the road congestion, you even organize these book clubs, reader clubs, online also. But look at the activity. Isn't that empowering yourself? कि भाई हमारे लाइब्रेरी का, हमारे इंस्टीट्यूशन के, हमारे कॉलेज के लाइब्रेरियन ने कितने रीडर्स क्लब बनाए? 20. And the whole year, how many actually readers club meeting or activities were arranged? 500. Fantastic. 100, 200. Number is not important. Actual activity is important. Number will come later. Automatically they will multiply. The frequency will increase. That will take its own turn. Don't bother about it. Start. For that purpose, you learn that skill. कैसे बनाने readers club? How to identify student? How to give a motivational speech for them? That introductory speech. भाई क्या फायदे हैं आपके? कैसे करेंगे? कौन से डे में करेंगे? कौन से टाइम पे करेंगे? What is my role? I will be always there to help you. Books will be made available in the class itself. Look at all those things. I think that is so important. Also, friends, empowering yourself, we are talking about. कैसे empower करें खुद को? Conduct research on reading. Yes. Presently, I tell you, we are all conducting research on some topic. The number of doctoral students is increasing. That is fantastic. But very deliberately, maybe smaller research, not necessarily just for the doctoral degree purpose. Every month, every 2 months, every year, you continuously carry out some research on reading. Reading habits of psychology students, compare that with the mathematics students. Reading habits of rural students, compare that with the urban students. Reading habits of female students, compare that with the male students. Reading habit of Marathi medium students, compare that with the... And collect lot of data about all this what I have talked about. Their reading attitude, positive, negative, indifferent. What is the need of reading? What they feel about it? Is there a reading backlog? We never think of it actually. भाई ऐसा है कि एक स्टूडेंट अब 20 साल का हुआ है तो 20 साल के उम्र तक उसने कितने किताबें पढ़नी चाहिए? कोई है फॉर्मूला? क्या बना सकते हैं? उसमें रिसर्च हो सकता है? आई टेल यू दिस इज लाइव टॉपिक फॉर रिसर्च. सो यूजफुल. यू विल गेट अ पेटेंट फॉर दैट. आज कोई फॉर्मूला नहीं है, कोई ऐसा इमेजिनेशन नहीं है. A 25 years person by that age of 25 must have read minimum these many books. Nothing. And so we are unable to know the backlog. कितने पढ़ना चाहिए? 5 novels, 2 story books, this, that. कुछ तो हो सकता है ना. That okay. जैसे कि देखो, there is a what is called that body mass index and so on and so forth. This is the height, this is the age, and this should be your body weight. है ना? Why not about reading? Do research for that. Reasons for not reading, I tell you. Continuous need of reading for all types of people. For example, senior citizen, why they are not reading? Businessmen, why they are not reading? Farmers, why they are not reading? Women, housewives, why they are not reading? Look at the variety of readers. Segments they are called in the marketing terminology. Stratas they are called in terms of research methods. There is a lot of scope. You also do actually research on impact of reading. क्या होता है? क्या impact है reading का? हो रहा है कुछ transformation? या कुछ नहीं है? एक ने 2 किताबें पढ़े 20 साल तक, एक ने 50 पढ़े और दोनों एक जैसे है. Is it the case? Then there is no need for actually reading at all. But if you are able to notice the impact, yes, that another person has become successful in some walk of life, not necessarily just earning money. He may be good orator. He may be very good politician, a weird politician. He may be a scientist. He may be a doctor. But doctor also understand the human values. ये मेडिकल स्किल के साथ उसका जो एक ह्यूमन वैल्यू आ गया, जिसको एम्पैथी सिंपैथी कहते हैं. तो किससे आया है? रीडिंग से आया है. इम्पैक्ट, यू डू रिसर्च ऑन दैट. स्केल ऑफ रीडिंग मेजरिंग, स्केल फॉर मेजरिंग रीडिंग डेवलपमेंट, कि भाई ये रीडर डेवलप हुआ है. Is there any scale as on today? No, it's not there. So you develop, do research, and you use all those modern tools, whether it is the artificial intelligence, whether it is the data analytics, whether all those cytometrics and this and that, n number of techniques. You also bring the techniques from the others field and apply it here. Maybe psychologists have developed something, sociologists have developed something, neurologists have developed something. Bring them and develop your own application. Come out with a solution to the problem. Fantastic. There's a lot of scope for empowering yourself as a reading researcher. Yes. Developing yourself as a reading researcher, or what could be called as a reading experts. There is a scope for empowerment. Friends, then what are the tools for acquiring that mastery of books or information sources? कैसे बन सकते हैं हम प्रोफेसर ऑफ बुक्स? Best thing, you read blurbs. Yes. Apart from blurbs, I tell you, apart from these books themselves that I will be talking about the book, always there is written on the back of the back cover, the last cover of the book. Not just that. Many good books now, they have on the inner flap, first few pages, the reader's experiences about the book. What publishers do, they send actually a preprint to the authors, to these readers, great personalities, thinkers, scientists, engineers, lawyers, and they request them to read and then write maybe about 1 sentence, 2 sentences, 3 sentences. And about that particular book, there are 20 people's reviews are printed there. Read those 20 lines about that book are ready with you. 10 lines from the blurb, 30 lines. अरे भाई आप बन गए बुक मास्टर. 30 लाइन्स अगर किस किताब के कंटेंट के बारे में आप पढ़ेंगे तो आप उसमें से 5 लाइन तो कम से कम स्टूडेंट्स को बता सकेंगे ना. यस, this book is to be read by virtue or because of these 5 reasons. Look at that. So you acquired, you become the master of books. Or also, you have to read books yourself, at least self-help books, novels. सब्जेक्ट के आपके आप जिसमें ग्रेजुएशन किए हुए उस सब्जेक्ट की किताबें तो आपको बिल्कुल समझ आएगी, आप पढ़ ही सकते हैं. सो पॉइंट हियर इज दैट क्या लाइब्रेरी में किताबें पढ़नी चाहिए? 100% friends. How you will become master of books? How you will become master of information sources without reading the book? पहला जो है वो किताबों के बारे में पढ़ना है, ब्लर. दूसरा जो है बुक्स themselves means read books themselves. किताबों को ही पढ़िए. I'm so sure all of you will be saying, what are you talking about, sir? We are so busy. भाई 10 मिनट, 15 मिनट, 20 मिनट, 1 आध घंटा, 2 घंटे आप इस पैशन के लिए निकाल सकते हैं. आप ट्राई कीजिए. You will find. It is always said that, a person becomes successful in any profession, any career. Conditionally, he has passion for that. So the librarian must be passionate about reading. खुद का रीडिंग बहुत होना चाहिए. तभी तो आप जो भी कोई आपको मिलता है आप सिर्फ किताबों पे बात करेंगे और लोग आपको ढूंढते डेलिबरेटली आ जाएंगे. भाई सर के पास जाते, मैडम के पास जाते तो एक आध किताब के बारे में तो वो बोल ही देंगे 5-10 मिनट और बस मेरा काम बन गया. Look at the scenarios that you can change by acquiring this mastery. That is what is actually you mean by empower. अभी हम नहीं है इसके लिए empowered. ये भी आपको एक्सेप्ट करना पड़ेगा. इट इज लिटिल डिफिकल्ट टू एक्सेप्ट दैट, आई नो दैट. कैसे मैं खुद को करूं, नहीं नहीं मैं पढ़ता ही नहीं हूं, कहना चाहिए, ताकि आपको एक जानकारी होगी खुद का. यू विल बी अवेयर अबाउट योर सेल्फ. ओके, देर इज अ लैग, देर इज अ गैप, आई विल रीड. दैट इज अनदर वे टू एक्वायर बुक मास्टरी. थर्ड इज ब्राउजिंग सेल्फ. एवरी लाइब्रेरियन, यस, ये मैं बिल्कुल सूद बूद के साथ कह रहा हूँ, कंप्लीट अवेयरनेस, must browse self of their own library at least 1 hour per day. कौन सा समय निकालना, you have to decide. Can you do it? 100%. What is needed? That willpower. Do you have it? You have it. Only thing probably nobody has told you. How you will come to know कि भाई कौन सी किताबें तुम्हारे लाइब्रेरी में है. हम कैटलॉग पे डिपेंड रहते हैं. किताब ढूंढनी है, कोई बात नहीं, गो टू द ओपैक. आई से नथिंग डूइंग. किताब ढूंढनी है, go to the librarian. I always say that people need not to come to the library. People should come to the librarian. Yes, they must come prepared to meet the librarian, talk with the librarian, share about books and listen about books from the librarian. That's it. That's the basic purpose. And to make yourself capable to talk about books, you must visit your bookshelves per day, at least 1 hour. Take out the book, read the title, read the content, read the blurb, read the reviews of other people that have been printed in the front and last part of the book, and that will make you master of reading material. Visit bookshops and exhibitions. Yes, friends. Now we know that in the Pune city itself is going to be one of the biggest book exhibition. But there are always smaller book exhibitions also in every nook and corner. You visit them. How you will increase your knowledge of reading material? You mean book master? Master of reading material? भाई 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 टाइटल, तो जितना आप लंबी बात करेंगे लाइब्रेरियंस के साथ, तो लाइब्रेरियंस के मुंह से कहाँ बाहर निकलना है तो टाइटल्स और उसके बारे में कुछ था. Always suggesting, read this. That is it. For that, you have to visit. And browse booksellers' website. It's a technological tool. Use it. Nothing, no harm. Because almost all booksellers have their websites. And not just they display the titles online, but they also have that blur, that introductory part. Sometimes they have sample chapters uploaded. So many things are there. About the author also is there. All that is so important. If you go to the Amazon, there is a link called about the product. For them, a book is a product. And there is always actually some extract, a paragraph of 10, 20, 30 lines that will help you to get knowledge about books, and that will give you book mastery. Friends, if you really mean to actually empower yourself for use of technology, if you really mean that technology is the only way out, these are the tips. But before that, I must also talk to you about. Look at that. If we always exclusively depend upon the technology, it will be only what is called as high tech. But I always say that as it has to be high tech, it should be a service with human touch also. Yes. Once you start advising readers one-to-one, once you start readers one-to-one, naturally what is going to happen there, it is going to be one-to-one contact with the readers. There is going to be a human touch, and then, oh, ये मेरे लाइब्रेरियन ने बताया है, मतलब बहुत ही यूजफुल होने वाला है. Look at that. Look what comes to your side. A confident response. But alongside what we're talking about, already there are tools which are there for reading development. Already there are technologists working for you or on your behalf. They are trying to actually even replace you. Yes, we must think about it. For example, there is a website called Goodreads, what I have mentioned there. These are all websites, I tell you, except the last one, Novelist, is a database. Talk about it separately. If you look at the Goodreads itself, it's a website. It's actually a subsidiary of Amazon itself, but they are different units. On Goodreads, you type any subject or title. If you type subject, there comes a list of books related on that subject. So they are telling these are the good books to read. So the title of that website itself is Goodreads. And what they provide you, if you type a title, even there are English description of many Marathi books also, Marathi novels also, I tell you. English, of course, they are there. So if you type a particular title, what happens? Say, for example, मन में है विश्वास. टाइप करो, आ जाएगा. क्या आने वाला है? English description. The description is, of course, on Goodreads is all English. But what is there? About 1 or 2 paragraphs, maybe about 20 lines, and that provide you gist of that particular book. कर रहे हैं ना, ये reading recommendation ही है. These are tools in the digital form for readers advisory. है ना, readymade है. आप कहेंगे फिर हमारा रोल क्या है? Yes, friends. हमारा रोल ये है कि हम पर्सनलाइज सर्विस दे सकते हैं. ये जनरलाइज्ड है. एवरीबडी whosoever is interested in finding what to read, they should go to Goodreads. But I, as an individual, I have my own personality, I have my own backlog, I have my own reading up till now that I have done, and this is where is the gap. What you suggest becomes personal. So is the case library of things. There is actually a catalog of books, you can say, actually, that is recommended by the people. Or look at the website called What Should I Read Next? कितना मीनिंगफुल है. They know that where people get stuck. एक किताब मैंने खत्म कर दी है पढ़ के. So, what should I read next? Ideally speaking, this should be the question put to the librarian. लेकिन ये टेक्नोलॉजिकल टूल्स कहे तो हमारे हेल्प के लिए है, करे तो हमारे रिप्लेसमेंट भी हो सकती है इनसे. You have to be careful about it. So is the case with Bookish and Selfari. Amazon, of course, you people know. See, Amazon's this thing is that so wonderful. They go one step ahead also. If you search 5 times books on cooking, next day in your website, there will be a mail. On your email, there will be a mail saying that considering your past search experience, here is the suggestion from us. Look at that. हम ये नहीं कहते, हम नहीं करते. पहले क्या पढ़ा है हमारे पास है ही नहीं. जब सर्कुलेशन काउंटर पे स्टूडेंट आ जाता है तो उसने जो भी लाया है उसको सर्कुलेट करते हैं. वेयर इज अवर इन्वॉल्वमेंट, वेयर इज अवर इंटेलेक्चुअल इन्वॉल्वमेंट? है आपके पास, आप कैपेबल है, यू आर प्रोफेशनली ट्रेन फॉर दैट एंड यू अपस्किल फर्दर. पहले स्किल है और चाहिए, अपस्किल करो. Or this book or Olementra and which book is also similar to that, Ripple. Or I will come. There are of course many more. I have just put a selected list here. But I would also like to suggest there is a separate database called Novelist that is for the reader development's advice. Novelist ये database है, novels का database, and there also it works as a advice mechanism. What did they do? They actually, if you are, once you type that I'm interested in, say, for example, crime thrillers or sci-fi or science fiction, type it. And they suggest you immediately. These are the author, these are the titles, ये इस title की ये speciality है, इस title पे movie बनी है. Look at that. All the way convincing you people as a reader that you read this. I think when the technological tools are capable to do that, you are certainly much better to do this type of service. So, friends, I would like to conclude there. First of all, let me stop sharing. And if you have any questions, I will be able to answer that. But as a conclusion, I must say that it's a great time that we must empower ourselves, and with the basic purpose of developing reader. Friends, as a teacher's role is to develop a student of a subject. As a librarian's role is to develop a reader. And remember that once a student, once a person becomes a ready to read, once a become get habitual to reading, once he forms that reading habit, I tell you, he will be giving credit to you throughout his life. They will be thankful to you. Their gratitude will be to you all the while, saying that this librarian has brought a change in me. My personality has got transformed. Now I am able to actually speak better, write better. I am actually a different person by virtue of reading. I think the role of libraries, the goal of today's libraries should be exclusively reader development. जिसके लिए लेक्चर देना है, डिस्प्ले करना है, किताबों के बारे में बात करनी है, anything that you are interested and needed to do, you will be able to do it. So, friends, let us work together. First, to empower for reader development. And the core of it, have a capacity to talk about reading, have a capacity to recommend particular book for a particular purpose. Once you do that, you will automatically be awarded those new designations as professor of books and reading. I wish you all the best for that, and thank the organizers for inviting me to have an interaction with you. Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you so much, sir, for the insightful knowledge you shared with all of us. I really like the idea, the terminology you told us, a professor of books and professor of reading, and we should develop a reader just like teacher develops a student. So I'm sure everyone have gained new ideas, and they will like, use and apply those ideas in their respective workplaces. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank
I
you.
would like to request IQAC coordinator, Assistant Professor Tina ma'am, to give the vote of thanks for today's session.
Thank you, Ruta ma'am. Thank you, sir, for your wonderful session. Okay, I will start. On behalf of Gnan Ganga Education Trust Degree College of Arts, Commerce and Science, I, Assistant Professor Tina Kodian, the IQAC coordinator of the college, feels deeply honored to deliver the vote of thanks for this enlightening faculty development program on empowering libraries in the digital age, tools, techniques, and transformations. First and foremost, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed speaker and resource person, Dr. Rajendra Kumbar sir, for sharing such a valuable information, insights, expertise, and practical knowledge. Sir, your session has truly broadened our understanding of how the librarians can adapt and thrive in this evolving digital landscape. A special thanks to the organizing committee for their meticulous planning and seamless execution of the day one. Your hard work behind the scene ensured today's success. And I would like to express my gratitude to all the participants for the active engagement and for the cooperation throughout the session. Lastly, a big thank you to our principal, Dr. Bhavika Karkera ma'am, for her unwavering leadership in supporting initiatives like this, which plays a crucial role in enhancing our professional competencies. Thank you once again. Thank you, everyone. I would request everyone to just fill the feedback form. Ruta ma'am, I think you have shared the feedback form in the
Yes,
chat
yes.
box.
Just now I shared it, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So
Just now it is shared.
okay, so participants kindly fill the feedback form. It's very important to fill the feedback forms for all the days, as well as your attendance, in order to receive the participation certificate of this FDP. So kindly cooperate. Thank you once again. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam.
Thank you very much, participant. See you tomorrow
Thank you.
at 4 p.m. for our next day
Thank-
session.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
madam.
you so much.
Good evening.